Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, what do you miss most about 2016?
Also, what U.S. figure skater has done routines to NF?
All that and more on the way next. I hate that we have to do this, but Aaron Rodgers' career might have ended on a playoff pick six. 8772 Radio U. The Steelers lost to the Texans last night, 30-6. So the Texans move on. They'll play the Patriots next round of the playoffs. And the Steelers season is done. Aaron Rodgers' career might be done. A bit of an unceremonious way to go out. He was, of course, asked after the game, will he be back? And he said that he's not making any emotional decisions right now. He says he said, I'm disappointed, obviously. Such a fun year. A lot of adversity, but a lot of fun. Been a great year. So no decision yet. What do you think, Allie? You think he's coming back?
I don't know. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is such a competitor his whole career. It's hard for me to see somebody like that go out in this way. Mm-hmm. But also, is it this stuff that we stated when he did say he was coming back and going to be playing for the Steelers? We kind of mentioned, like, you know, there's a risk involved that it could end in a way that's like just not very fun. And like, you know, we've seen this before with so many great careers in sports where these people that have won championships and have had just tremendous careers have gone out on a really sad note because they just didn't want to stop competing, but they don't have it anymore, or their team isn't very good. Right. You know, it may not be that they're not as good as, you know, they were, but it's just like they don't have a good team around them anymore, and so they're not winning. So it was a risk, and I feel like if he comes back again next year, that risk is still there. Yeah,
I think for sure we will think much more about if he retires, how the pick six was the last play, than I think he will.
Yeah,
because that's just a moment of a season, and the season was overall a success. But what you said is true. Is that like, I think about this all the time in sports. I was thinking about it last night. This is whether you play sports or whether you're a fan of a team, odds are your season is going to end this way.
Yeah.
Because only one team gets to win, and even if it's not a pick six, your season is going to end in disappointment because it's probably going to end in a loss.
Yeah.
And so you can't just keep coming back over and over again as a player.
Yeah.
Because you want that one last win. Like hardly any players get to end on that high note.
Right.
So if he comes back, it's not going to be because he didn't like the way the last game went. It was a competitive game, 30-6, very unindicative of how it actually went. It was still a 4-point game with 12 minutes left to go and an 11-point game with 4 minutes to go. So it's not like they got blown out.
No.
But I don't know if he comes back because I feel like he proved everything he needed to prove this year. Like, he got away from the toxic Jets, kind of proved them wrong of showing that he could still play when he's not in that horrible environment.
Right.
He won a division, got back to the playoffs, so he showed he could still do it. I mean, he said he had fun. I think you could tell on the field, even though he was doing a lot of yelling and screaming a lot of the times because his receivers were screwing up.
Making boneheaded moves.
Yeah, he still seemed to have fun throughout the year this year, so... And obviously, competitive, like, they made the playoffs. He had a great season. And I was counting up, there's probably like 6 to 8 teams that don't know don't have a clear plan of what they're doing at quarterback next year. Some of them would make sense for him.
Sure.
One is the Jets, so that's a no. But
one might be the Browns.
Yeah, right. But I think odds are he probably either comes back with the Steelers or just retires.
Yeah.
I kind of lean towards... I think he retires.
Okay.
But I think there's a chance he comes back.
Yeah.
I just think if he does, it's not because of last night.
Yeah.
But it was a tough game to watch. I mean, not only did the Steelers struggle on offense, C.J. Stroud fumbled it 5 times.
It was a defensive game for sure, and the offense on both sides were struggling. It was just a situation of best defense wins, and best defense that night was the Texans.
Yeah, the Texans, I kind of am rooting for them the rest of the way. Out of the 8 teams that are left, they kind of are the one I like the most. But obviously, you can't fumble 5 times.
No, you can't have that move.
And win another Super Bowl or win a lot more playoff games at all.
But they do have a little bit of an easier route, I will say.
And they were getting to Aaron Rodgers with 4 guys rushing. That is insane.
That is quite
in the
wild.
NFL, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So. Picture this, Allie, a solo Lord Farquaad movie. Lord Farquaad, the villain, one of the villains from the original Shrek movie. I don't think he's appeared in any, like all the Puss in Boots and all the numerous other Shrek movies, however many there are. What are we at? 5? 4, 5?
I have no idea. I've only seen the first Shrek. So
you've only seen the first Shrek?
Yeah, Shrek. I like Shrek, and I really like Shrek the musical. But like overall, not really for me.
The second Shrek is almost as good as the first one.
Almost as good.
Yeah, it's almost as good. Some of the Puss in Boots, I don't even know. Like, there's so much. I think I've seen all the Shrek-related things. Which is why they should definitely make a Lord Farquaad movie, because even I'm watching it, and I'm an adult at this point. But that said, I don't have a clear memory of a lot of it, and a lot of it runs together.
Right.
Like I said, is there 4 movies? 5?
Yeah.
How many Puss in Boots movies are there?
Right.
Who's in everything? I don't know. But let's get to the point here. A Lord Farquaad standalone movie has never been made.
Yeah.
But that may be about to change. And check out who's involved. None other than 2 of the writers, half of the writing team that came up with K-pop Demon Hunters.
Really?
Yeah.
What a weird crossover.
Yeah, but that makes it even more of like a must make, right?
Yeah,
you have to do this.
It's an appealing venture, in my opinion.
Dania Jimenez and Hannah McMecken are 2 of the 4 writers who are responsible for creating K-pop Demon Hunters, of course, last year's hit movie. And they have, according to The Hollywood Reporter, developed a feature for DreamWorks Animation that would focus on Lord Farquaad from the first Shrek movie.
That should be a fun time. Like, they absolutely crushed it with the villains in K-pop Demon Hunters and the villain music in K-pop Demon Hunters. So if they make this a musical, like, I would even be even more on board.
Yeah, I'd be interested. Do they get Jonathan Lithgow back for it? I mean, he would have to come back, right?
I would hope so.
And he was so good. So this is, you got to make this. I'm usually anti. I've said this before. Like, I don't want the villain backstory movies.
Right. You said that with Gaston.
Yeah, I don't need. They're the villain. Don't tell me why I should actually feel bad for them.
Well, I think with
Lord Farquaad is so, comic.
Yeah, he's so out there.
Yeah.
That it's like, I think he is one that you could get away with doing a story about him without even including any of that backstory that makes you feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just like the extravagant and like how insanely dumb he is and all of that stuff. Like it would be played for laughs, obviously, but I think you don't even need like to make him more lovable or anything, because he's not lovable, really.
Yeah, even though he's the main villain, he's still likable, and he is.
It's because he's hilarious. Like, you can't take him seriously. That's why.
So hopefully this actually, it sounds like I don't know if they've written a whole movie, but it's like something they've already worked on.
Okay.
So hopefully it actually gets greenlit and it gets made.
Yeah.
You think of all the other movies that get made. This is a way better idea than about 90% of, at least, of other things.
Yes.
There's a new #1 app. It's called Are You Dead?
What?
8772 RadioU. It has reached #1 status in China as far as the #1 paid app in the Apple App Store.
You have to pay to use this?
$1.15 in American money, yes.
A month?
No, just to download it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to buy the app.
Yes,
Okay.
or 8 yen, or however they say it. Are You Dead is the #1 app. It was invented in May of 2025, and it has recently surged to the top of the charts in the Apple App Store in China. Why? Because in China, so many people live alone. And so what this app does is it is basically you open the app and you press a big button on the app that basically says, I'm still alive. And you're supposed to do this every 2 days. And if you don't, it alerts whoever you set as your emergency contact that you might be dead.
Oh my
And then it's their
gosh.
job to check on you.
Oh my goodness, that's so sad.
Yeah, well, you know what I would do with this, why I will never download this.
Why?
Because I'd forget to check in and people would think I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, I would forget to do this app all the time because it's so hard to create a new habit.
I spend 16 hours a day looking at my phone, and a notification would come up 6 times being like, don't forget to check in.
Don't forget to tell us
and
if
I'd be
you're
like,
not dead.
I'll do it later. And then the emergency services show up at my house.
What this app needs to do is it needs to like have like a little notification it sends to your family if you haven't checked in 2 days, where it'll say, this person hasn't let us know that they're not dead yet, but they are using their phone a lot. So they're probably fine.
Since it's Chinese, it is probably checking all, like it knows.
Yeah, it knows your phone usage.
Yeah, so it will know you're still actually using the phone. But
this is so sad still. I just don't like the idea of like so many people living alone that they're afraid that they're just going to die and no one's going to notice.
Yeah, literally people like explaining what they're, like why they have it or whatever. It's, one person says, I wonder if I died alone, who would collect my body? Like, this is what they're thinking about.
That's so depressing.
And
what is happening in China?
For it to go to this high of a height in the App Store, there's no way, like, most of the people that are downloading this are not actually in danger of dying anytime soon,
No,
right?
I think it's just a craze.
Yeah.
But I do believe I've heard that there is kind of like a loneliness. There's a loneliness epidemic everywhere. We've kind of seen this. But I think it is a big problem in China because of the consequences of the one-child policy.
Yeah.
Like there's like a lot of there's not a lot of relationships happening, not a lot of marriage happening. So a lot of people are living alone.
Yeah. They say that by 2030, they expect to have in China 200 million one-person households.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's 2/3 of the American population living by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can see the need for this app. This is available here in the United States, too. It's just not called Are You Dead? It's called Damumu.
Damumu.
Yeah, Damumu, if you ever want to go ahead and download it. And like I said, probably freak somebody out because you forget to check in.
Yeah.
And it calls them and says they might be dead.
I think if you are considering downloading this app, maybe that should be your sign to like maybe change some habits, change up a little bit of what you're doing so that you don't have to have this worry in your life of, am I going to die alone? And is no one going to find me if I don't have this app?
I also think that this app could lead to some really good murder mysteries. Because it'd be like, they couldn't have died because they checked in on the app.
Oh, but it's like a clue, but somebody else had access to their phone.
100%.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to use this.
I mean, people do that type of stuff all the time in like murder mystery investigations because it'll be like, they texted us.
Right, yeah.
And the text
They said they were on their way.
Right.
But they had already been dead for 8 hours.
Right. And the text didn't sound like it was their texting style.
Yeah.
Because people have texting styles. Like, that didn't sound like them.
This isn't the time they normally checked in on the Are You Dead Yet app. Suspicious.
Something's going on here. Yesterday was Monday, so we did our box office breakdown, Hudson. And I believe it was Regina that texted in to give us a review, kind of a show. She just gave us a little snippet of what she'd been watching. And that is The Traitors. And we both mentioned how we hadn't seen it, but it was kind of something where it was like right up my alley and something you might be interested in checking out. And
I'm intrigued. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm at least aware of it, which is more than a lot of shows.
Right. I had seen stuff about it, but I didn't actually ever know what it was about. And then you mentioned it's a murder mystery. And of course, that piqued my interest. And so I was like, I think we ended the break pretty much saying like this show deserves giving it a shot.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what I did.
You did.
I don't have Peacock, and so I initially thought like I don't have a way to watch this, but thankfully my brother and sister-in-law do, and they shared it with me.
Nice.
And so I was able to start watching season 1 because season 4 is airing right now. And I'm the type of person, even though there's a new season out, I like to start with the first one just so that if it's greatly improved as the seasons have gone on, I don't want to set myself up for failure by like watching the newest season first and then be disappointed going back to the older seasons that are like less interesting or less twisty or whatever. And so I binged 3 episodes of season 1 yesterday.
Nice. And so it must be good then.
So far I'm loving it. It's basically a big game of Secret Hitler, with twists and everything. So there's like a group of people. Some of them are celebrities from like different reality TV shows, and then some of them are just regular people.
Okay.
And the three of them have been chosen to be traitors, and the rest of them are called like the faithful. And every night somebody gets murdered by the traitors.
Okay.
And every night they also have to do a banishment, and so the group decides who they're going to banish from the group, and then who they banish reveals if they're a faithful or a traitor. And so it's basically a big game of Secret Hitler. You try, whoever is the traitor has to try and fake everybody out. And if the traitors end up winning, they take all of the money.
Yeah.
But if the faithful are able to get all of the traitors out, then they'll take the pot of money for themselves.
All right, you're going to need to reverse, though, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who's thinking, what is Secret Hitler?
Oh, it's like Killers. There's several versions of that game, but it's basically like you have to try and find out, like, one person in the group is not who they say they are. They're kind of lying. Like, have you ever played the game Chameleon before?
No, but maybe I just called it something different. There used to be a game I remember playing. I think it was called Mafia.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That was along the same lines.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's all the same type of format for a game. Yeah, Mafia. There's been so many different names for it. But,
I guess I just wouldn't want to play a game where I could even wind up being Hitler in any way.
I understand what you mean. I think Secret Hitler is like, it's a board game version of like Mafia.
Yeah.
So it's not just like you're playing with like cards or whatever, because I think it's when you played with Mafia, you're just playing with like a deck of cards.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Next question. Would you rather, if you were on the show, be one of the traitors or one of the faithful?
Oh, definitely one of the faithful. It seems like way more complicated and like stressful to be a traitor because you're constantly having to be on your guard, on your game, like kind of trying to deceive people, make sure you don't say anything weird. And there's this one guy, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's this one guy who's a part of the traitors, and the other two traitors absolutely hate him because he will not shut up. Like, he just constantly is talking, and like he's over explaining everything. And so he's putting a massive target on his back because everybody's like, why are you always like leading every conversation? Because he's always, pointing fingers at people and saying like, yeah, they did this thing that was really suspicious. Like, they tapped their leg a bunch when this happened. And so he's kind of letting people know.
Maybe it's part of a grander scheme.
Maybe. I'm looking forward to keep watching it, though, because I feel like there's going to be more twists than just like a traditional Mafia game. Like, because Mafia is pretty straightforward, but I feel like they're going to insert other twists, like maybe they'll switch out traitors or like change something up so that the traitors think they know how it's going to go, but then it actually doesn't go that way.
It sounds interesting, and I do kind of need a show right now.
Yeah.
But I also don't watch a whole lot of reality/game shows.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a definite maybe for me.
Okay.
But I'm still intrigued. The Stranger Things documentary, making of Stranger Things, it's called One Last Adventure, just went up on Netflix. 8772 Radio U. It's giving a look at putting the final season particularly in a whole new light now.
Okay.
One of the things that's been revealed in the documentary is that the Duffer Brothers, who of course made the show, didn't necessarily have the finale scripted out when they started production on the final season itself.
What?
Yeah.
Shocking. No, I think we could all tell, Duffer Brothers, that you didn't have this written.
One of the production assistants during the filming says, we're shooting episode 8, which isn't completely written yet. Spoiler alert, so we don't even fully know what's going on.
Oh, no.
There's a quote from Matt Duffer who goes, I've never read 8 through, and we're just shooting it. I've never done anything like this before. This is so weird. We're jumping to 8. Don't love it. Don't love it.
When did he say that?
I don't know.
It's in the documentary?
Yeah, that's in the documentary.
Jeez, you guys are just outing yourselves now. Like, I think we could all kind of come to this conclusion that the writing for this last season just was not as on point. But man, you're just letting us all know you did not have a plan.
It sounds like it was really on a time crunch, which is crazy to say because they've had 10 years.
And they took like how many years to make this last season?
I know. And to me, I do like want to offer a little bit of nuance to this where just because they didn't have the full episode written doesn't mean they didn't have the ending in mind.
Sure.
But having such a time crunch for that final episode, and also like it's Netflix delays stuff all the time, right? I mean, we all would have been upset if Stranger Things 5 was delayed even more than we already waited so long. But to put themselves in this situation is pretty frustrating. And I'm sure there's so many other things that we don't know that goes into it. But nevertheless, what I expect is they had a finale in mind and they just ran out of time to actually like make it what it actually should have been.
I think this confirms a theory that we both talked about when we gave our like recap of season 5, which was that actually season 4 was supposed to be the ending.
It would have been better if it ended that way.
I think the Duffer Brothers wrote that as their ending, and Netflix forced them to come up with the season 5 because they wanted more money from Stranger Things. And so they extended this all out. But if you think about it, nothing really changes from the end of 4 to 5. And so, like, for the most part, I think they probably did have a decent ending written.
Yeah.
And Netflix forced them to continue making more Stranger Things when really there didn't need to be more Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think that theory makes sense to me.
That'd be an interesting project for somebody to kind of splice together some of the more important, like, good, the moments from season 5 that do kind of wrap up storylines.
Yeah.
But without watching all of season 5 and just have that like kind of added
tagged
into season 4 somewhere.
Yeah, I think it actually would make sense.
Yeah, I think, again, it's so fun to watch Stranger Things, and I know a lot of people are so upset about how the finale went. To me, I'm still just great. Like, the whole finale to me is not going to spoil the entire ride that we got to go on. That was so exciting for most of the time. But I mean, it just would have been. Season 4 was just a better way to close it out.
100%.
And so I feel bad for them a bit getting roasted again because I feel like there's a lot of pressure on them.
Oh, absolutely.
Not from fans, but from Netflix to be like, you need to do this to make us money.
I think they pressured them into a really bad situation.
Yeah.
Today's Right Up My Alley is all going to be figure skating questions for you, Hudson. How much do you know about figure skating?
Not a lot.
Okay. But you've watched it?
Yeah, I've seen Blades of Glory.
That's such a good movie. I love that movie. And then it's also just a little preview for everybody for the Olympics. I also need to shout out Regina again, a second time today. I shouted her out when I was talking about traders, shouting her out right now because she mentioned how she got to go see, I believe, the U.S. women as they were getting like their team ready for, I think it's their championships that were just held in St. Louis. And she got to go see the U.S. women compete. And so she said they were very, very good, which is exciting to hear ahead of the Olympics. All right. This is Right Up My Alley. I give 3 questions to Hudson on a topic I know way too much about. The questions get progressively harder. You can play along by texting in to 877-2-RADIO-U. First question. Which RadioU artist song was used by Team USA figure skater Ilya Malinin in one of his routines?
Oh, man. This is obvious. It was Tiger Wine. It was Technicolor Yawn.
No. He used NF's Hope.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool routine. It wasn't, I believe, for official competition. It was just like a showcase, but it's a really cool routine. And if you've ever seen Ilya skate, he is amazing. More on him in a little bit.
The Olympics are ready for that, though.
No, he doesn't skate to NF for the actual like short form program or anything like that.
Am I right about this? At the Olympics, the music that they use is not like songs like you would hear on Radio U or otherwise. Don't they just skate to like instrumental music, probably because of TV rights or something?
There is some competitions that completely ban vocals, yes. But if you watched them at the like the U.S. Championships, which just happened, those songs did have vocals. Like Alyssa Lau, she did or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but she did Paparazzi by Lady Gaga. So, all right, second question. When spinning, figure skaters can reach what RPM speed?
I've counted.
You have?
Yeah, when I've been watching, and I'm thinking about 5.
5?
Yeah.
300. Which is revolutions per minute, by the way.
Close.
Sure.
I was within 300.
All right, final question. What is widely considered the hardest jump in figure skating?
The triple Lutz. Of course.
Already off to a bad start with the triple. Triple Lutz is hard, but it's actually the quadruple axel that's the hardest.
Oh, the axle.
Yeah, that requires 4.5 rotations. It's really hard, set up for that one.
Mm-hmm.
The only U.S. skater that's ever landed that in an official competition is Ilya Malinin. I'm always bad at saying his name, but he is, I think, might be one of the favorites to win a gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
An amazing skater, and I think in one of his competitions he actually landed 6 quads, 6 of them.
Dang, he's just showing off.
I don't know if they were all axles, but he is an incredible skater, incredible. And so that's the hardest one to land. Another little fun fact for you.
Yeah,
male skaters usually weigh around 150 pounds. When they land, because of how much force they're coming down on the ice, if you were landed on, if you were below them, it would be 1,000 pounds of pressure landed on you. That's how much weight it would be coming down upon the ice.
And with a sharp skate?
Yeah, you'd be dead.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, thanks.
No, thank you, sir.
I'll get out of the way.
Well, the Winter Olympics, they're kicking off in a couple weeks. The figure skating will definitely be something that usually is safe for towards the end. So that's probably a month from now. We're talking about the figure skating, but exciting nonetheless. I am, now that the Steelers and Packers are both out of the playoffs.
You're moving on.
I am. I'm starting to think about Canada and all the gold medals they're going to win.
I'm so excited.
Saw a lot of people talking about Lego's big announcement from yesterday, 8772 Radio U, a collaboration that people have waited for decades. Finally, later this year, you're going to be able to get Pokemon Lego sets.
Ooh, these look so cute.
They did a pretty good job on most of them, to me. They are putting out 3 sets that you can buy. Pre-orders for these are available now. Looks like they'll actually be available starting on February 27th. It's 3 sets that allow you to build 5 Pokemon total, plus a couple other things.
I want that Eevee. Eevee looks so cute.
Eevee is a good choice because I think they did a really good job of Eevee, and Eevee's also the cheapest. Eevee is $59.99.
Okay.
$59.99 for that's the cheapest Eevee, 587 pieces.
Okay.
And so that's the starting point. If you just want to have any actual Pokemon Lego at all, that's the cheapest you can get it.
Okay.
If you want to step up your game, you can go with the Pikachu and Pokeball set. That is $199.99.
Sorry, I just sneezed. That was so expensive, I sneezed.
Yeah, you could. It elicited some reaction, and I think the Pikachu looks the worst out of all of them because
it does look a little odd.
Its face is kind of chunky and it's got weird gaps in it and whatever. So I don't know if that one's necessarily worth the price.
Yeah.
Versus the Eevee or the other set, which allows you to build 3, but $199.99 and 2,050 pieces.
Okay.
In the Pikachu set. But then this is the real high ticket item right here. There's a set with Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise. You get to build all 3. It's almost 7,000 pieces.
Woo.
It's $649.99.
Oh my goodness.
Who can afford to be that big of a fan of Pokemon and Lego?
I mean, certainly not me. I cannot do that. But I will say the Charizard looks pretty cool with the wings.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And they've got some you would never do this, but where they've posed the completed characters in different areas.
Yeah.
For cool, not almost action shot kind of things. And it looks really cool.
It does look so cool.
It just doesn't look $650 worth of cool. Plus, again, almost 7,000 pieces. You think I could build that without losing half of them? No shot.
I know someone who can. My little cousin Max. He is a master builder when it comes to Legos.
Yeah. Does he have $650?
No.
Yeah.
But he might want these. I don't know if he likes Pokemon or not. I'm not sure.
It's so crazy. I know everything's getting more expensive, but and I know that especially Lego can be for adults. It's one of the best toys for just all ages.
Absolutely.
Even though all of these, by the way, it's recommended for 18 plus only.
What?
These are mature Legos.
What? That's ridiculous.
That's what it says. I'm looking right at it. They're recommended for 18 plus, but to me, Legos are still a toy.
Yeah,
they're for children.
They're still for kids.
And no children can afford $650
no, they'd
just
have to
be
have
able to
their
build
parents,
Charizard.
Right.
Yeah.
They'd have to have their parents or grandparents buy it for them, which you cannot convince me that parents and grandparents are not going to be buying these for their kids.
Christmas time?
Yeah.
This is going to be on
Birthdays?
everybody's Amazon wish list.
Right.
Yeah. And you go to, oh my gosh, can you imagine rolling up to an elementary school, your friend's birthday party, and you have his gift is one of these sets? I feel like you're going to be the MVP. All of a sudden, you're his best friend.
I don't know anyone that's buying this for a friend though.
No, I know.
You're spending that amount of money on a friend.
This is why you would be the automatic best friend.
I mean, I feel like there should be a $25 limit on a gift for another
Probably.
kid.
How much do you want to be his friend? How cool is he? Does he have a trampoline? What kind of gaming system does he have?
Does he have a swimming pool?
Right, exactly. These are the questions you ask yourself. And does your mom actually really want you to be friends with him is probably the real question.
You can't buy friendship, though.
If somebody got you a $650 Pokemon Lego
no one's
set.
gonna do that.
You already invited them to the birthday party, but then again, you have to invite everybody in your class. But you didn't really like this kid, but $650 Lego set. You kind of got to be his friend.
No way.
You gotta invite him over.
If a parent's doing that, they have to be making millions of dollars a year.
Well, this is embarrassing. 8772 Radio U, a museum in Alaska. It is the museum at the University of Alaska. It's their Museum of the North. Just found out that some fossils that they've had on display for about 70 years, they had them displayed as woolly mammoth bones. They just found out they're not woolly mammoth bones.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Not woolly mammoth bones at all. In fact, not only are these not woolly mammoth bones, these are bones from whales.
Okay.
Not just one whale, two different types of whale entirely.
Really?
Yeah.
That have been mixed together.
They mixed them together and they're like, this is a woolly mammoth. And they've had this on display for 70 years.
No.
Think about how many school groups have come through there and been absolutely duped.
Woolly mammoth.
Yeah, bamboozled. The wool pulled over their eyes, you could say. And that is because it is still a bit of a mystery of how this happened. But what we do know is the reason they found this out is because the museum has what they call an Adopt a Mammoth program.
Uh-oh. How about adopt a whale?
Yeah, seriously, which encourages the testing of archived fossils.
Maybe they should have tested them 70 years ago.
Yeah, seriously. These bones have dodged 70 years worth of bullets before now finally being exposed for the frauds that they are. And so they found out that they were not, when they did this testing, they found out, first of all, I guess that they were too young. These were not old enough to be able to
mammoth?
be woolly mammoths.
Okay.
And so then it's like, well, what are they? And then they did different tests to find out that it was some were from a minke whale, some from a North Pacific right whale. So they didn't even match up at all.
Yeah. They're just all over the place with these bones.
Embarrassing.
Man,
They're just making stuff up.
This is really hurting the credibility of these museums.
This is what I always say.
Yeah. We don't really know where these bones are coming from.
How do we know they're putting them together correctly?
We don't.
We don't, and this is case in point. I rest my case.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely a pretty mortal wound for the whole museum, showing up and being like, this is what the T-Rex looks like.
Yeah.
And this is what the woolly mammoth looks like. We don't actually know.
Yeah, because apparently even if you found them like right next to each other in the formation of what seems like an animal, they might have just be bones from different animals that happen to fall next to each other eventually.
I also love how it says scientists are now puzzling over how whale bones ended up this far inland in Alaska, where I guess these bones were found. I don't know. Maybe there was a great flood.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a theory.
I don't know. Are we actually even sure these are whale bones? Because you clearly can't be trusted.
Can we test all fossils at museums, please?
Are we going to find out that these were actually bear bones like 50 years from now when they do the Adopt a Whale program? I just don't know that I can trust anything. I always assume, like when you go to a museum anyways, right? And they have like the big skeletons.
Yeah.
A lot of that is just fake, right?
Yeah,
like they're not even actual bones.
Most of that is like a recreation or whatever. And so those type of setups, they're not real. But still, those setups are they make you think that is what it's supposed to look like because they've figured it out somehow. But again, how can we actually know that this thing was supposed to look like that?
Yeah. And then what always gets me is, okay, maybe you put the bones together right. And now you're telling me this thing was woolly?
Yeah, we don't know what type of feathers or what type of fur, whatever. We don't know what they had.
We don't know.
It's all conjecture.
I think you got some really good guesses over there, scientists.
Yeah. But treat them like what they are.
Yeah.
Guesses, theories.
When you think of 2016, what comes to mind? 8772 RadioU. Let's look back 10 years ago. Because on TikTok, I guess now that it is 10 years since 2016, the 2016 whole aesthetic has just taken off. Searches for 2016 have gone through the roof, and people are kind of being transported back to a different place in time.
Yeah.
What do you remember about 2016?
2016 was my senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I remember just like getting ready for college and like doing some like final things when I was in Zambia before I moved here to the US. And so I have a lot of great memories that year. I actually I lived in Johannesburg, South Africa for a little bit because I had like an internship because it was kind of partially senior year, partially like gap year for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was homeschooled. So if you're a homeschooler, you know how that works. It's a little weird.
I was homeschooled every year was a gap year.
Yeah, it's a little weird how sometimes that stuff works out. But yeah, those are some great times. It's crazy to think it's 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, I guess 2016 in Africa would be a bit different than 2016 in the United States.
Yeah, I probably don't have a lot of the same memories of what you would have here being in the U.S.
Yeah, well, 2016, one of the top things I think of from that time was Pokemon Go was huge.
Oh, really? That's when it exploded?
Yeah.
I always thought it was during COVID that took off.
No. Yeah, I think it had a resurgence, and obviously it's never completely gone away, but that was much before COVID.
Okay.
Pokemon
I didn't
Go
know
in
that.
its heyday. 2016 also, and I think this is part of why maybe so many people are now, with it being 10 years ago, being transported back to that time with fond memories.
Yeah.
Is because 2016 was an election year.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously November 2016, that would be when Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
But if you're thinking back, obviously the election was going on, that there was debates and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But I think politics very much changed at that time.
Yeah.
And so if you go back to like before the election, obviously politics were still going on and things were, but for a lot of people, like that was when you either actually became aware or started to care, or when everything just changed and the whole vibe of it. And so
that was
it
my
seemed
first to vote in. So,
right. So it seems like it was just a different vibe back then before that election. And so I think that's part of it. A lot of the music is coming back. Also, you think back to 2016 and like TikTok and Reels and like feeling like you constantly had to even update your stories was not a thing as much. So
was it Musical.ly back then? Did it even exist?
It probably existed, right? But like nobody had it.
Because it was Musical.ly before it was TikTok. But I can't remember when that switch happened because I was never on Musical.ly. Like I never got the app.
No, me neither.
So I don't remember when the switch happened. I just know that it was Musical.ly first and it was all the music video, the little dances. Then it changed to TikTok and it was still dance videos. And then eventually it turned into what it is now, which is like a mix of all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know when, but I'm sure it was like 2016. Nobody was thinking about Musical.ly or TikTok.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It was more Snapchat and Instagram. But this one trend expert is saying that in 2016, social media wasn't so performative. It was back when it was like literally you would post a food picture on your Instagram.
Yeah, I was going to say I've gone back to look at like my early days of Instagram. I didn't get Instagram until I started college. And because Instagram was just wasn't a big thing in Zambia at all. And I look back at the old post I made and it was all like scenery posts or, food or something random. Like it was very few pictures of just me or my friends. And like that's all it is now. It's
and there was no photo carousels.
Yeah.
So
it was all single posts usually. But I feel
simpler
like
time.
It really was a simpler time. But now when you look at people's feed, it's all just pictures of themselves or pictures with friends, pictures out doing stuff rather than just like an image of your food or an image of some sunset you saw.
Yeah. It really has changed. A simpler time, a different time, a better time.
I would say maybe better.
Hard to say.
It's a mix of both, right?
Yeah. If you've used ChatGPT more than a few times, I'm assuming you've experienced this because I know this is definitely something that Allie and I and other people I've talked to, this is just a dead giveaway that something was written by ChatGPT is if it has the word chaos in it.
Oh, yes. Chaos immediately links me into that this is written by AI because it's obsessed with that word.
It says it so much. It's in like everything it ever writes, it feels like. And so anytime I ever see anything written like out and about and it has chaos in it, I'm like, oh, so they just,
they just asked ChatGPT to write this for them.
They just asked ChatGPT to do their homework for them. But I was like, why is that the word? Because, there's other things that give away AI or ChatGPT, but none as consistently to me as that, Like there's nothing that is more a hallmark of ChatGPT than the chaos.
It's the chaos and the dashes. They're obsessed with dashes to like separate sentences. And so that is also a dead giveaway because very few people write like that.
Right.
Even though it is grammatically correct to include dashes sometimes, very few people do. And so that's another thing where it's like, it's a little too perfect how they write.
Yeah, but that's right. That's technically the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Versus there's no reason to include chaos. Besides, and here's my theory, ChatGPT just learns from, it's not creative on its own. It's just taking everything that humans have inputted into it.
Yeah.
All of the millions and billions of things that we've said online that's been fed into it. And it uses that.
Right.
Now, I don't think any of us, the average person, says chaos nearly as much as ChatGPT does.
Definitely not.
But I think that there's a sense overall that chaos is like constantly happening. The world is so chaotic.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that's more uniquely recent to us. I don't know. But it feels like we are so used to experiencing chaos. It's such a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
And so ChatGPT is like, oh, chaos is what you want, eh? And it's not that we want it. It's not that we want chaos. It's just it feels like it's a constant in life.
Yeah.
And if that's you, because I know I've definitely been in that spot, when you feel like chaos is going on all around you and life can be so chaotic, what you need is peace. What you want is some peace, something you can hold on to even in the midst of all the chaos. And that's exactly what a relationship with God is. Jesus is there to give you peace, to give you a place to not necessarily hide, but just be safe from so much of the swirling winds around you, the swirling winds of chaos that are going on in the world.
Yeah, I think of there's a story about Jesus where he is asleep on a boat in the midst of a storm, an insane storm. Like, his followers were like scared for their lives, and Jesus is asleep in the middle of the storm. That's how much peace he has.
Yeah.
They describe him as like the Prince of Peace. And so I think of that story because they do wake him up and he calms the storm. And I think that's what people focus on. Oh, Jesus calms the storm. Yeah, he can calm the storm, but also he gives you the ability to be just like him, you know, to sleep in the middle of the storm and find that peace, even though the waves are rocking and everybody else is crying and thinking that they need to, you know, fear for their lives. Jesus somehow has peace in the middle of that, in the middle of the chaos. He has that peace. And so, yeah, I think that's the cool part about having a relationship with Jesus is it's like, it doesn't necessarily mean this chaotic world completely calms down and goes away and all of your problems go away. It just means that you can have the ability to sleep through that chaos and find some peace in it, even though these are like the least peaceful moments that you can find sometimes.
Yeah, chaos is going to happen. That's just the way the world is. And if you think about it, there's always something you can stress about. But if you turn to Jesus and spend time with him and look to him when you are feeling stressed and feeling overwhelmed by the chaos, you're going to find that peace. If you want to know more, first of all, literally just start talking to God wherever you are. Just say, hey, Jesus, I'm stressed right now. I'm going through a lot. Whatever it is, it's chaotic. I need your help. And he'll help you out. You can also go to RadioU.com/free gift.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.